You just finished eating, you feel fine. Maybe a little full, maybe one bite past fine, but right now, inside your body, there is a full-blown biochemical emergency unfolding at the speed of a freight train. Your blood sugar is spiking, your pancreas is firing insulin like a panicked air traffic controller trying to land 200 planes at once, and your arteries are getting hit with a sugar storm that, over time, works exactly like sandpaper scraping the inside of your blood vessels. A landmark study published in Nature Metabolism found that the average person experiences over 4,000 blood sugar spikes per year, most of them detonating in the 30 minutes right after eating. 4,000 times a year, your body is quietly taking damage, and most people are sitting on the couch completely unaware. But here's the twist that changes everything. The fix isn't a pill, it isn't a supplement, it isn't some $300 glucose monitor you strap to your arm like a cyborg. It's a walk. Not just any walk, though. The timing is everything. Today, we're breaking down exactly what happens inside your body when you walk before eating versus after eating, and which one is the metabolic superpower most people are completely sleeping on. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a simple walk the same way again. And if this kind of stuff is useful to you, hit subscribe because we break down exactly this every single week. Let's start with the crime scene. Every time you eat, especially carbs, blood sugar floods your bloodstream within 15 to 30 minutes. Think of your bloodstream as a 6-lane highway. Normally, traffic flows smoothly, but after a meal, someone just opened the floodgates at rush hour. Bumper-to-bumper gridlock, total chaos! Your pancreas, this small, unassuming organ tucked behind your stomach, detects the surge and immediately starts pumping out insulin. Insulin is the traffic cop. Its job is to wave glucose off the highway and into your cells, your liver, your fat tissue, and most importantly, your muscles. But here's what nobody tells you. Every time blood sugar spikes hard, those glucose molecules act like tiny shards of glass scraping the inner lining of your arteries. A 2023 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that repeated post-meal glucose spikes, even in people with perfectly normal blood sugar, were independently linked to a 34% higher risk of cardiovascular events over a 10-year period. You don't need to be diabetic for this to matter, you just need to eat, which last time I checked all of us do. And the worst part? Most people finish their meal and immediately sink back into the couch, which is basically handing your pancreas a flamethrower and wishing it luck. Now here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. Your muscles aren't just there to look good at the beach or carry groceries without embarrassing yourself. They are actually the largest glucose disposal organ in your entire body, and they have a secret weapon that most people, including a lot of doctors, have never heard of. It's called GLUT4. Glucose Transporter Type 4. Think of GLUT4 like a fleet of microscopic Uber drivers parked inside your muscle cells, sitting in airplane mode, waiting. Normally, they need insulin to wake them up and send them out to collect glucose. But, and this is the part that should genuinely blow your mind, when your muscles contract during movement, those GLUT4 transporters activate through a completely separate pathway. No insulin needed, no waiting. It's like discovering your building has a secret elevator that bypasses every floor, goes straight to the penthouse, and nobody told you it existed until now. Here's exactly how it works. An enzyme called AMPK, your body's cellular energy sensor, gets triggered the second your muscles start moving. MPK essentially fires off an emergency broadcast. We need fuel, and we need it now. And GLUT4 transporters flood to the surface of muscle cells like 1,000 tiny doors swinging open simultaneously, pulling glucose straight out of your bloodstream. No insulin, no pancreatic stress, no arterial damage. A 2022 meta-analysis in Diabetologia confirmed that muscle contraction-induced GLUT4 activation can reduce post-meal blood sugar by up to 50% compared to just sitting still. And it only takes 10 minutes of light walking. 10 minutes. That's one sitcom intro. That's how long it takes to find something to watch on Netflix without actually watching anything. And it can cut your blood sugar spike in half. So what happens when you walk before you eat instead? Imagine your body like a hybrid car. After 8 to 12 hours without food, your glycogen tank is running low. Blood sugar is at baseline. Insulin is quiet. And your body being the brilliant adaptive machine it is, has already switched fuel sources. It's running on fat. In this fasted state, your body releases two key hormones, glucagon and cortisol, which activate an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase. Basically, a molecular lockpick that cracks open fat cells and releases stored fatty acids into the bloodstream to be torched as fuel. A 2021 study in Cell Metabolism found that people who did moderate, fasted walking for just 30 minutes in the morning burned 20 to 30% more fat compared to people who walked after eating. And that fat-burning effect kept rolling for several hours after the walk ended. Coaches call this the afterburn. In a fasted state, it runs hot. But here's the part that actually matters. Fasted walking is not for everyone, and skipping this nuance is where people go wrong. If you're chronically sleep-deprived, under high stress, or your adrenals are already running on fumes, high-intensity fasted exercise can backfire hard. Cortisol spikes to levels that actually flip the switch toward fat storage, especially around the belly. The exact opposite of what you wanted. For those people, a post-meal walk is the far smarter move. So, fasted walking, powerful tool, right person, right context, not a universal magic bullet. Now let's talk about the actual game changer, the habit that a growing body of research is straight up calling a free metabolic drug. Walking after you eat, specifically within 15 to 20 minutes of finishing your last bite. The second you start moving, your muscles flip into glucose vacuum mode. Instead of that post-meal sugar flood sitting in your bloodstream, wrecking your arteries and hammering your pancreas, it gets intercepted, pulled directly into muscle cells, and burned as immediate fuel. The result is a dramatically flatter blood sugar curve. A 2024 study published in Sports Medicine analyzed 17 trials and found that a 10-minute walk immediately after eating reduced post-meal glucose peaks by an average of 47%. And in some pre-diabetic populations, that was more effective than the drug metformin. Read that back one more time. A 10-minute walk outperformed a pharmaceutical drug. No copay required. But the timing window is everything. The same research showed that waiting just 30 minutes after eating to start walking reduced the glucose-lowering effect by nearly 60%. The spike has already happened. The damage is done. It's like mopping the floor while the tap is still running. The sweet spot is within 15 minutes of your last bite. A slow, easy stroll is genuinely all it takes. You don't need to power walk. You don't need a heart rate monitor. You just need to move. And consistently doing this compounds in a way that is almost unfair. A 2023 longitudinal study in the Lancet Healthy Longevity tracked over 3,000 adults for 5 years and found that people who walked just 11 minutes after each meal had a 28% lower risk of type 2 diabetes and a 22% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Do this long enough and your mitochondria multiply, your insulin sensitivity improves, and your arteries stay cleaner for longer. Longevity researchers call this metabolic compounding. Small daily habits banking years onto your life. Like compound interest, except instead of money, you're stacking extra decades. So here's the verdict. Walk before eating if you want to maximize fat burning. Fasted in the morning, easy pace. Walk after eating to intercept blood sugar spikes and build long-term metabolic health. Within 15 minutes of your last bite for at least 10 minutes. If you can only pick one, post-meal walking wins. It is the most underrated free health habit on the planet. No equipment, no cost, no excuses. Your body starts responding the very first time you do it. So finish your next meal, put your plate down, and go for a walk. Your arteries will thank you, your future self will thank you, and honestly, so will your pancreas. That little guy's been through enough. If you found this useful, like the video, it helps more than you think. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.